Hello, I'm Erin Beilharz, and big thank you to City as a Lab Summit for the opportunity to speak with all of these esteemed guests today. I work as a digital consultant for Lufthansa Systems. We are a IT company. We're the IT arm of the Lufthansa Group. We have a lot of big, complex IT products that we serve airlines with, things like revenue management, operations, demand forecasting, network and route optimization, all of that good stuff. I work as a consultant, translating some of the ideas that we have within the airline industry into logistics, mobility, including urban air mobility as a big focus, energy and retail industries. Today, I wanted to put my view of future cities into a bit of a context, and I'd like to give you, from my perspective, three examples which will shape demand on logistics in the future. So for me, the important topics are the ideas of circularity, demand forecasting, and real-time logistics. If we move into the idea of servicing future wants and needs, the way that we are absolutely addicted to having everything that I want right now and the quality that I want. Back in 2019, I saw IKEA present their urban village project concept, which is a collaboration between Space 10, which is basically the IKEA playground lab where they try out different technologies and ideas, concepts, and Effect Architects. The idea of this concept of the urban village project is that people in the future will change, but they don't need to necessarily be bound to their possessions anymore, their homes. So they've done this with real estate, where you can buy into a project and be a co-owner in the finance company, which is owning the project where you live. So these IKEA communities in the future, not only will they be communities where you can change from single to couple to parents with children and back down to empty nest, and then stay within your community, but they're also going to be filled with a bunch of products and services by different service providers. So I think the future logistics of city is going to be highly dependent around this idea of servicing things. First of all, understanding that things are going to be loaned to people and people will just use products and not necessarily own them. The idea that the different suppliers of all of these products and services will have to know beforehand what people are going to want and predict the demand of different products and services along the chain. And then the way to get them delivered quickly and efficiently and also affordably for the companies. So we have a company called Loop that's also an interesting example, where they have changed the idea from FMCG goods, from just buying groceries and then taking the packaging and throwing it away, to having this roadable packaging where you order stuff. You order your Ben & Jerry's ice cream and it's delivered in a metal container with Ben & Jerry's cookies and cream logo on it, beautiful packaging. You eat the ice cream, you put the dirty thing back in this big Loop bag, and it's picked up again. And you have all of these logistics around ordering a plethora of different products from different companies, having it delivered, and having it come back so that you don't create waste anymore. So think about the logistics behind this whole operation and what that could mean for your business, maybe. There's another example of a e-retail company called Shine, a Chinese company, and they're currently linking what people are currently looking at in their e-commerce shop and what they're putting in their baskets, and they're automatically relaying this to the forecast planning of the production, so that the people on the sewing machines in the factories in China are then reflecting things which have been put in baskets in the demand and production forecasts in real time. So this is all rather new, and it has a huge impact on, I think, the way that logistics in cities are going to work in the future. If this utopic vision that I'm describing is going to come true, I think the scale and the scope will really have to change, and the technology that is required to link all of these things together needs to become more and more seamless and connected. So if I think about what we're already doing within the airline industry, and if I think of the airline industry as essentially a big closed loop with a lot of assets, a lot of customers, a lot of service providers, logistics, and all of these different players all working on the same network together to produce a product and service. We have a lot of learnings from the airline industry and from aviation that we can kind of translate over into mobility and logistics. So for instance, at Lufthansa Systems, we use optimizers in all kinds of different areas of our IT products, using different methodologies, different types of algorithms, using AI, machine learning, you name it, to do things like forecast demand, create dynamic prices for tickets. So we have also the idea of this shine production. We have this idea of when somebody's looking at a specific flight or a specific destination that we say, okay, this business could end up being ours, and checking of the competitors as well, where they are able to buy, and a constant comparison of prices so that we can have a much better result, and we have a much better idea of whether somebody will buy this ticket with us, buy this ticket today, put it in the basket, think about it, and what the price development should be on a specific route pair for a specific person. So these are all things which we're currently using within aviation, which are going to translate very much into this future city idea of what is the right price for the right product at the right time and how to get it to them. With regards to reducing costs, which is another huge factor as well for airlines with such a big network of assets, we have a pretty cool project called the OPSD, which stands for the Operation Decision Support Suite. Now, this is a project done by Swiss, and it's essentially an AI-aided decision-making tool, which takes a look at any kind of flight irregularities or delays and makes a prognosis of whether somebody should be just sent directly to a hotel, if they connecting flights should wait for a few passengers, or if it will cause carry-on delays for the next flight, and extrapolates the entire cost of different scenarios over the entire system. So if you're talking about a company with the scale of Swiss or the scale of Lufthansa Group, then these kind of decisions can really save a lot of money and even save a lot of headaches for passengers. And they also create some pain points for passengers, which are also brought into the algorithms with regards to, you know, things like loyalty and how people feel about the company finally. We also have a very cool example from my time at LSG, which is the catering company of Lufthansa. At the time, we were doing pre-orders. So when a passenger is booking a flight, they're able to choose a meal. And as soon as they're booking this flight and getting into the selection, potentially this passenger has already been profiled, that we already know what kind of taste they have with regards to food, and that this forecasting, when this known passenger is already looking at specific flights, that can already go into the production forecast within the regional production unit to maybe make more of this type of food that we think they will choose finally. So these things are already at home in our company in different areas, and I think that they can be really nicely translated into this future city idea as well. With regards to maintaining this whole system and making sure that the assets are able to be used and they're not falling out due to big repairs or things like that, we have quite a few projects as well where we've implemented computer vision backed by AI to detect damage or detect patterns, which we can then use to make our business a bit smarter. We have a pretty cool deep turnaround app that we have developed using computer vision within Zero-G, which is our AI and data analytics company. And this here, you can see on the video, is to detect bottlenecks from the different service providers coming to service an aircraft. This can be translated into all kinds of cool applications for harbors, for trains, for anything where there's a huge network of service providers choreographed together to deliver something. We've also got a project that we've done maintenance inspection with together with Zero-G and Lufthansa Technik. This as well has great applications of using drones for maintenance aircraft inspection, or we've used it as well on runway inspection, as well as Lufthansa Technik in another project together with Fraport, the airport in Frankfurt. So lots of different areas of application for that. We're also using OCRs, optical character recognition software, and we have been using this currently in a project to analyze tweets for passenger satisfaction, going through tweets and seeing, categorizing different areas of the business and how the passengers are feeling about it according to the language that they're using. So this character recognition we've been using as well within our digital delivery lab in Gdansk to try and discover some quicker automated ways of doing COVID screening, document reading in order to analyze test status, vaccine status, and stuff like that, because we see these bottlenecks coming up in our business as people start traveling again, of how to deal with all of this. The real-time logistics part, I would say last but not least for this presentation, I think there's going to be a lot more robotics, a lot less drivers in the future. And we are looking very deeply into drone delivery and have quite a few interesting projects within the Lufthansa group as well. We had a project delivering medication between two hospitals and medical devices within two hospitals of Hamburg with Lufthansa Technik, because they wanted to a little bit simulate and learn about the mechanical operations of drones and how this is different from aircraft, because this is a future business for us that we want to explore and learn about. We have the Volo IQ project, which is an absolute lighthouse project for Lufthansa Industry Solutions to develop with Volocopter's proprietary IT to do the entire drone taxi and cargo drone operational software suite, booking, network planning, flight planning, getting all of the data from different sensors into the system so that they can monitor and assess how the different vehicles are doing, putting things in like predictive maintenance, et cetera, et cetera. So these are all areas that I think are leading towards this real-time delivery within future cities, and I think exciting to be a part of this as a service provider to some of these other companies. So thank you so much. Again, the last takeaway: circular economies for future cities, demand forecasting, and real-time logistics are, I think, crucial to this industry. If you are a logistics company and want to find out more about any of these ideas that I was talking about, or see how it might be applicable to what you're doing, then reach out on LinkedIn or whatever. I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you.